As far back as I can remember, the guitar has always been part of my life. When I was 8, I managed to save up $15 by taking care of our neighbor's dog while they were on vacation. I took that $15 and bought a K guitar from my sister's girlfriend and began my first guitar lessons. Years later, when I was 15, while living in Baltimore, out walking one day, killing time on summer's vacation, I sought relief from the East Coast's oppressive heat and humidity in an air-conditioned public library. Aimlessly wandering down the aisles of the books with no particular interest in mind, I stopped, turned my head, and happened to gaze upon a book that unknowingly to me at the time would transform my life. Irving Sloane's Classical Guitar Construction. The causes and conditions were auspicious that day. I checked out the book, took it home, and announced to my father I was going to make a guitar. He had a small workshop in the basement. Knowing nothing of woodworking, but blinded by the task I set before myself, I proceeded headstrong into making my first guitar. I bought some hard maple 3/4 of an inch thick, and with a dull hand plane, somehow managed to shave down to a couple millimeters. At that time, I hadn't even heard of a bandsaw. I couldn't wrap my 15-year-old brain around making a rosette, so I simply inlaid a piece of veneer. It seems I set some kind of future trend without intending to do so, because nowadays everyone is doing it. portholes, to me, are a gimmick. At a time when I'm trying to lower the air mode, the portholes, by allowing a more rapid escape of the air out of the body, raise the air mode, and quite frankly sound like an old hag with smoker's cough, and no particular power to the voice. The soundboard is the heart and soul of the guitar. The back and sides are important, but not as critical as the top. I spare no expense in getting the best wood possible for the tops. Sometimes that means discarding what appears to be some perfectly usable tops. Fan brace tops work more independently, allowing the treble to break free into their own brilliant personality, separate from the bass mid-range limitations. The guitar must breathe. It shouldn't hold its breath. Overly built guitars tend not to breathe. Anything alive must breathe. Split tops with no run out is number one. I don't care that much for perfect quarter sawn tops. Of course, visually beautiful, I would take an ordinary split top over an unsplit top full of medullary. On the top that is less stiff, it is braced heavier. If it's more stiff, it's braced lighter. Lattice bracing? I prefer traditional fan bracing. Grid or lattice brace tops tend to involve the whole top in producing the tone and end up producing a mid-rangey nasal color cast. Certainly a guitar must be sufficiently loud, but it must also seduce the listener as well. Response is the most important quality to me. We often shake our head and wonder why these world-class players play the guitars that they do. To many people, they sound bad. We know nothing of the struggle the guitarist is up against on stage. We only sit back and relish in the sound, knowing nothing of the effort the guitarist is going through to produce each and every note. A responsive guitar is more important than the subjective relative sound it produces. These are a few thoughts on guitars to go along with this video. I hope in the future to make an interesting documentary film on guitar making.